Now, the other player in this complex is Europe, which is currently buying arms from the Trump administration and sending them to Ukraine. But the Europeans are signaling that they're not willing to send troops in as part of a peacekeeping force. Now, do you think that Putin himself harbors designs not only on all of Ukraine, but also on the Baltic states and attempting to restore the former Soviet sphere of influence in Europe? Or is that too grandiose a vision for him to accomplish?
That's very symptomatic that this question is actually being asked right now. Because from the Ukrainian perspective, this is a no-brainer. Putin is opportunist. He will go as far as we let him go. And if that means taking Alaska back, then be it. You know? So the thing is, we are actually allowing this cancer to grow. And there is no design what to do with it. The greatest fear that the Western world has is that Russia will be defeated, because there is no plan what happens after that. Russia is perceived a great power, which it is only in certain contexts. In multitude of other contexts, for instance, in economically or socially, or from the point of view of demography, it's not a great power. But it looks like it's a great power. It's being treated like a great power. So every other great power, when it sees Russia being potentially defeated, applies that experience upon, projects that experience upon themselves, and says, what happens if we kick them out from the Security Council in the United Nations? Maybe we will be kicked out one day. So there is this hypocrisy where the great powers of the Western world are saying, we support Ukraine. And then they stop short of actually supporting it to the extent that's needed. And then what it causes is a number of effects. First, the cancer spreads. The Russian society lives in the illusion that they can continue like that. There's enormous popular support to the idea of Russian imperialism. There's virtually no opposition. The so-called Russian liberal Democrats en masse actually play into the tune of Russian imperialism. So from their point of view, Putin could have done it softer, but he chose to do it in a rougher manner. But the general idea is okay. So the problem that we have is that we have to actually set the defeat of Russia on the agenda and then start working towards it. What it means, it means a reset of the Russian statehood. Potentially that means the change of the Russian borders. Potentially that means new statehoods around Russia, and that's going to be messy. Potentially that means the change of balance in Eurasia, with China trying to take and create their own sphere of influence. Potentially that also means that we're going to be stuck with the necessity to have security and international assistance attention focused on the region for a long, long time. But this allows us to actually take the world away from the scenario where it can be destroyed by a crazy leader who might one day actually think of not only doing cyber attacks or doing chemical attacks on the enemies or doing other kinds of interference, but actually do something really bad. And this is all due to a policy mistake. This was all caused by one single policy mistake in early 90s. Russia should have been relieved of nuclear arms.
How would we have done that?
Well, hasn't Soviet Union lost the Cold War? Wasn't the West in a position to dictate the conditions? There was tremendous lack of vision. George Bush the senior was cheerleading for Gorbachev
They did
against
quite a
Ukraine's
bit-
independence.
They did do quite a bit to dismantle.
Well,
Russian
yeah.
weapons.
Well, actually, Russia was vulnerable at the time. Look what good the relief of nuclear arms did to Ukraine. Ukraine opted to develop in a democratic manner.
Was Ukraine capable of maintaining its nuclear force?
Well, if Ukraine is capable of developing its own, then that question is a no-brainer. Ukraine could have built international alliances to help and keep it. But you see what the world chose to do at that time was to relieve Ukraine, relieve Kazakhstan, relieve Belarus of nuclear arms, but not Russia. Russia was a member of the club, so Russia was allowed to stay in. Then what happened, nuclear arms shielded Russia from social transformation. Why do painful reforms if you can simply scare the world and blackmail the world and get whatever you want? So the Russian society has never basically changed the tune of the imperialism. It's like
Right.
it's like the Second World War ending with the Allies just withdrawing from Germany and letting Germany do whatever it wants, you know, and with all the former Nazis being in the government and everything, you know. We did it after the Second World War, but the world chose not to do it in the 90s. So now we have the consequences. The cancer has grown. It's killing the Russians, now we can say by the millions. It's killing the Ukrainians. It's killing people far away, North Korea. It's gonna be killing people around the world because now Putin is recruiting cannon fodder in India, in Nepal, in Africa, in other places. We have now soldiers of fortune finding themselves in a position of being needed in this war. What happens to these competences that have been gained in this new world, in this new warfare, when these people go home? Are they going to be, good civil servants, school teachers after that, engineers, drivers? Or are they going to try and apply their skills for the benefit of other malevolent actors? This is where the Pandora box is actually happening. And, we are seeing the summits of no consequence, like in Anchorage, being part of the learning curve that is way too flat for what the world needs right now.
So where are we in a year from now?
I think in a year from now, we're pretty much where we are today. The US will keep on learning. The Europeans will keep on awakening. The Ukrainians will keep on dying. That's where we're going to be from a year from now.
Yevhen, thank you.
Thank you.